Hi, it's Peggy Lee, and welcome to the premier Namites Die Blog Hop. We are so excited to have you here today with us. Be sure to hop along the way and see all the beautiful creations that the Namites design team has put together for you. There are videos and picture tutorials, and we're excited. Make sure that you leave a comment on each design team member's blog, because there is a secret word in the on their blog post, and you need to collect those secret words along the way, and at the end when you go to Dynamite's blog, you need to leave that last comment and put the whole secret code in. So let's get on to my tutorial, and today I am featuring the Namites Die Leafy Branch, which is DN1046. This beautiful design die was designed by none other than Lynn Forsythe. And I actually, just as soon as I saw this die, I thought of so many things I could do with it, but I wanted to create a layout. So it's a thin lit die. It's really wonderful, and I'm going to show you actually how to cut it out really quickly. I have most of the prep work done, so I'm going to use my Cuttle Bug because that's the cutting system that I have. I'm going to use my A plate. I'm going to use a cutting guide. I'm going to, sorry. I'm going to use my A plate and my C plate, my template. I'm actually using just printer paper, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Put that down on top. Put this on top. Now, every die cut system will be different, but with my Cuttle Bug, what I have found that works best for these thin dies is 2 pieces of styrofoam, which comes in my stamps that I have, 2 pieces of just scrapped cardstock, okay? And I'm going to run this through, and it's a tight squeeze, and sorry, and it makes noise. So, but it's all good. Okay. So then when you take the sandwich out, look how, that could be even a stencil. Alright. So here we have the die. And then you're going to just carefully, sometimes I like to pounce it and it will knock it loose a little bit. Here we go. Here we go. Now it's going to come out, and there are some little holes in here. If you just take a needle and just poke them, and those little things will just come right out. Okay? So that's with the die. I'm going to set that aside. Now what I'm going to show you, now this is just the printer paper, and there are 2 pieces in here. So you're just going to pull those apart just like that. They're so pretty. Okay, I'm just going to throw away these little side swaps. And then I'm going to take a Cuttle Bug folder, and I'm going to put one of my dies just right in the folder, just like that. Alright, set this one aside. Remove my C plate. I'm going to have my A plate, this is a B plate, and then another plate on top of that. And you're going to run that through. Okay? Now, because this is such a thin lit die, I run my dies through twice because I like a good impression. Then you're going to end up with an embossed flower. It's so cute. Okay, we're going to do something with that really quick. So for you today, I am actually creating a layout. And in this layout, I'm going to be doing the sunflower, okay? And I have all these oddballs because what I did is I reached into my stash. I wanted to create a layout with the sunflower, and it has a little bee in it. It's just really a cute little picture that I took a couple years ago of my garden. But this is what we're going to do today to show you the dies. So here's the die that I cut out of regular copy paper. I embossed it, and then we're going to get this color. Okay, these are going to be beautiful. And we're going to do that right off so you can see the color. We're going to set these ones aside. We're going to set our paper aside. Alright, so how I got this white piece to look like this is using distress stains. Now I'm going to be using bundled sage and forest moss. And you're just going to shake them up. Alright, and then I'm just going to dab really quickly, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just dab, dab, dab. We're going to use 4 of these branchy leaves for our scrapbook layout. Then we're going to take forest moss, and we're going to dab that on. And I'm going lightly at first, and then I'm going to really saturate some of the leaves with a little darker color. Just will help give it a little bit of variation. We're going to take our heat tool. Now this will be a little loud, so bear with me. Alright, and then we're going to take a paper towel and we're just going to blot it off. Alright, we're going to lift this up, and we're going to go ahead and set this aside to dry while we work on our flowers. So we'll set that over there, and it will dry. It's going to be so pretty when it's done. And it'll end up looking like this when it's, the reason I like using the paper, because it gives it really cool texture, okay? So now we're going to take, because we're going to do a yellow sunflower, I grabbed a bunch of flowers from my stash. Color Me Crazy from Petaloo, some more Petaloo flowers, and these are just some Kaiser Craft flowers that I just grabbed from my stash, okay? And some of them, as you can tell, have already been colored, all right? Well, that's okay, because we're going to change the color. Oh, and here's my little Kaiser Craft ones. I'm going to use some Color Wash Butterscotch, because I love this color. We're just going to saturate these flowers. We're going to change the color on the ones that we've already colored, and we're going to dip these. Actually, we're going to take a paintbrush. Let me get a paintbrush here. We're going to sop that up, and we're going to go like this. Now you can open this color wash up. Now this is really concentrated color wash, so I'm going to spray. I'm going to get some right here on my craft mat. I'm going to grab some water, and I'm going to water this down just a little bit, okay? And then I'm going to color my flowers. This way, I mean, you could spray it if you wanted to, which I probably will spray at the end too, but I like to paint. I feel like painting, you know, you can get into the crevices a little bit better, and we're going to spray too as well. Get some of this color sopped up. Alright, so now we're going to go back to the color wash, and we're going to spray these as well. And painting it gives it almost like a two-tone effect. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to sop up some more of this ink and just kind of go in and around the crevices and get the white paper flower, mulberry paper, all juicied up. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and dry these. Alright, you can also take your paper towel and you can dab up the excess to help you up a little bit here. We're going to do the heat tool again. It's going to get loud. And you got to be careful because these are fragile. And it just takes a couple seconds to heat set them. And I'm going to crumple them up as I heat set them, because I like the distressed look. And it gives it really cool different tones. Using the paintbrush gave this one a lot darker tone in the center, and then spraying it gave her a lighter tone. I really like that effect. And this one that we had already colored is such a different tone. There's a little bit of pink showing through. Dry it from the back side real quick. Just kind of helps it dry it a little bit. to grab these other last Kaiser Craft ones. So we have all of our flowers colored. So we're going to set those aside and let those dry a little bit. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to take and we're going to color these a little bit of a shade darker. And we're going to do that with Tethered Leather Glimmer Mist. Okay, we're really getting into some coloring here. And we're just going to spray. And these are going to kind of be the center. And my sprayer is kind of getting clogged because it's actually, there's hardly anything left in this Glimmer Mist because it's one of my favorites. So I'm just going to dab it on there and let that all just soak right up. Ooh, it's so pretty already. Pretty, pretty. Alright. Now it's not perfect and I don't mind that. And that was Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in Tattered Leather. So what we're going to do with these, we're going to give them a quick dry. Really, really quick. Alright, now we're going to set those aside and let those finish drying. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start working on our scrapbook layout. We're going to start with the background. So I grabbed just a plain piece of cardstock and I grabbed this very old piece of scrapbook paper, which is actually a Karen Foster, and that's old. But it was in my stash, I had it, I said why not use it. I'm going to adhere this 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper to my cardstock, and that's just going to give my cardstock some stability. Because this paper is it's kind of like the original scrapbook paper when they first started coming out, and they're really thin. And cardstock paper now can be really thick. So, you know, I've had this in my stash, and you know, I love it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our distress tool and we're going to distress the edges of this 12 by 12. So I'm just going to take, and this is just a distress tool with a sharp blade in the middle because I like distressing. So we're going to do this really quick. And I'm really rough. It doesn't need to be perfect because it's supposed to be distressed. Alright, so here we go. So now what we're going to do, because this needs texture, this is flat to me. So we're going to grab two stencil, one from Prima, which is the Crackle Mass, and one from Crafter's Workshop, and it is a it's the honeycomb. It's the chicken wire, the mini chicken wire one. So first we're going to do this. And how we're going to do this is I'm going to mix up my own gesso. It's stucco. So this is just Martha Stewart stucco. And I'm going to mix up, just because what we're going to do is we're just going to put it, kind of be like where my photo is going to go around here, okay? So I want some of that stuff coming out behind the photo. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take a dash of gesso. Okay, I'll make sure that I'm in frame for that. I'm going to take a dab of gesso. So I'm just taking my palette knife and sticking it in my gesso. Very little. And I'm going to mix that up, okay? And then I'm going to take Distress Ink Reinker in Black Soot. And I'm just going to add a drop. One drop's all you need, maybe two. That's all you need for that. It's going to go it's going to change it. It's going to become like, almost like a slate gray, a little darker. It's going to be really cute in the cracks. Gonna give it some nice texture. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this off to the side right here. It's gonna be where I'm gonna draw my palette from. My picture is gonna be right here, so I'm gonna kind of go up here, and I'm just going to spread really a thin layer. It's not very thick layer right there. And then I'm just gonna turn it right there. I'm gonna add some more. Okay. And then I'm going to add some coming off of the page over here. Okay, I'm just going to rub that on really. It's a thin layer. So like that. And that's pretty heavy, but don't worry about that because it's going to be covered up. So set this aside and make sure you clean that right off. Do not leave that on your mask. You want to clean your mask off. Alright, so now we're going to take some more of this stucco, and I'm just going to use a little bit, so we're just going to put a little bit right here, and we're going to take some more gesso, and dip that in, and we're going to color we're going to color that, and it's going to be white. Okay. Now we're going to take some of that tattered leather that we did on the thing, and I'm just going to put a few specks in there. And we're tinting it. It's going to be kind of like a cream, like a muddy cream, and actually I want a little bit more. Okay. So now we're going to take our chicken wire stencil, and we're going to lay that down. It's going to be up, I'm going to start up in that corner, and I'm just going to lightly, very lightly, put that on. Okay, and we'll do some right here. Very lightly. And we'll do some down here. This is just adding texture. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just adding texture. Okay. Put some up there. Alright, maybe some right there. Okay. Now what we're going to do real quick is we're going to go ahead and heat set this really quickly. It doesn't take long to dry at all. It sets up pretty fast. Pretty much drying. Okay, I'm going to take that same jet glimmer mist and spray really lightly all over. I'm actually going to add some more splatters. I like the splatter effect. Okay. Dry that again. Okay, we're going to set this aside for just a few minutes to dry. I'm going to put it in the sun to dry. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our photo and we're going to take some Canvas Corp burlap. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out my Tim Holtz scissors, and I'm just going to cut a piece of this burlap. And I eyeball, I don't measure. Alright, so we're just going to eyeball. And so right about here, and we're going to, because we're going to give a little bit of brown texture back into the layout. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to pull a couple of those fibers, just a couple, just to give it some more realistic look. Love burlap. Alright, so to get this on here so it will stay, but before I do that, I want to take my distress tool and I want to distress my photo. Because I distressed around my scrapbook layout, I really want to distress my edges of my photo. And I remember the first time I ever did this, I was scared to death. But what's really cool about using the dynamite dies with your layouts, with your cards, is you can really do a lot, create some really cool effects with using dies. Like, these dies are just so fun to play with. Alright, so let's get our glue out. We're going to use Canvas Corp's Mixed Media Wet Glue to adhere the picture down, okay? But before we adhere it down, we're going to pull our layout back in. We're going to start building our layout. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to figure out where exactly we want to put the burlap, where we want to put our photo, and we're going to be showcasing these gorgeous leaf branch that Lynn Forsythe has created. So I think right there is good. So I'm going to take my Canvas Corp Mixed Media Glue and I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this. And I'm putting it only where the photo is going to be, so it won't seep through the edges. Okay. And it doesn't take a whole lot because, you know, it's just burlap. So we're going to put that down. We're going to take our photo. We're going to do our photo next. So here I am putting the Canvas Corp Mixed Media Glue on it. Okay. We're going to glue that down. Perfect. Love it. Okay, now we're going to, now the fun part, we're going to start building this little section up. We're going to take these beautiful leaf dies from Dynamites, the Thinlit dies, and we're going to stick them in and out throughout the layout. So first I'm going to lay them down, okay, and we're going to do it so that they're popping up, over, as well as down. And we're going to do this one this way, and we're going to do this one this way. Okay, so we double layered. Now I haven't put any adhesive down yet because I don't need to, because I'm going to put these on top and then I'll add some glue to it. So we're going to build the flower. So these two pieces, so we're going to build the flower this way. I'm going to add these two, then we're going to, actually I think I'm going to add these to the in between. Alright, so we're going to take, and I'm going to pop some glue on here. And I'm using wet glue because it will give me a chance. I can maneuver this around. I can scrunch it. I can scrunch the flower. So we're going to add some more adhesive to this flower. Hopefully I'm in frame. And we're going to put that one there. Okay. And then this one's going to go next. Now this one's still a little dry, so I'm going to go ahead and heat set it just really quickly. Actually, you know what? Do I want that one? Yeah, I do want that one. Okay, we're going to heat set this one because this one's not dry enough yet. Okay, pull this layout back out. Alright, I'm going to be brave and I'm going to glue my flower down immediately. I'm the type of person, I like to glue and go, and I used to lay out my whole layout and stuff, and I don't mind ripping it up if it's wrong. And I'm going to put that right there, push that down into the glue, and it's going to get them all in there. And then I'm going to put some more glue on this next flower and smish that in there. Smish, that's a new word. Okay. And then we're going to take, we also have these flowers that we created. We don't want to forget them. Then we have this flower. I'm going to put some glue on that one. And I'm going to put that on the top. Push that in. Now these ones that we created, alright, and then now, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue and I'm just going to put some glue here and there. Not a lot, just a little, just to hold the leaf branch in place. Okay? And let's do, this one needs to come up a little bit more. Alright, so let's tap this one down. Okay. I'm going to put some glue on the back of this one. I just put it right there. And now I'm going to tuck it underneath the flower. Okay, like that. And don't worry, it's going to get covered up, so it's all good. Alright, fix the little die. Alright, so now what we're going to do is one of these is going to become the center. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to squish it up like that. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to just fold it and squish it. That's all I'm going to do. Crumple it up, make it go like good. I'm going to stick some glue down into the center of my flower like that. And then I'm just going to push that in there so it's like ends up looking like that. It's a really cute flower. Now you can, what's great about using this mixed media glue is you have time to play with your flower. You can ruffle it up, make it more. Now what we're going to do with these are going to become fillers. So we're going to put a glob of glue on the back. We're going to fold it like that. I'm going to put some glue on the back of one side and on the middle. And then we're just going to tuck these underneath the flowers. And they're just going to kind of like pop out there. We're going to do the same. We're going to fold it to the back. Put some glue, fold it. Put some glue here. Put some glue here. Now we're going to pop this piece is going to go right there. Okay? So it gives it a little bit of texture. We're almost done. Awesome. It's looking really pretty so far. Let me show you it this way, what we're doing. Okay, so now really quickly, I stole these little pieces of chicken wire. Actually, they were left at my house accidentally. And I said, oh, I have to put these in there somehow. So we're going to take our little wire cutters and I'm going to snip this one in half because I really don't need that big huge piece. Okay. So we're just going to tuck in this chicken wire. Let's cut that one off. Okay, we're just going to tuck this one in. We're going to put some glue on it, rub some glue around it, and I'm just going to tuck it in underneath the flower. Tuck it in, just like that. And actually we're going to bring the leaf up over it. There. And it's just going to give it a little bit of whimsy and actually I think I want a bigger piece. Alright. I'm going to take this one, add some glue to this one. Okay. Whoops. And we're going to pull up our flower and tuck this in behind it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this thin leafly die cut right up over the wire. Just like that. Cool. We're almost done. So I pulled out a stamp set that I thought, let me pull this out of the way. I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock. I have a stamp set here that's an old, close to my heart stamp set that I have. I'm going to grab some Tim Holtz ink. Okay. You grab a block to put that on. Stamp it like that. Grab some archival ink. We're going to stamp right down onto this piece of paper, piece of cardstock, and it's not a perfect stamp because that's the way the stamp is. Now we're going to trim this out. We're going to just slice it right up. Slice it right off. We're going to take our distressor because we want it to match our layout. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. I'm going to grab some brushed corduroy ink. We're just going to ink up the edges just to kind of help it blend in a little bit more. Alright, I'm going to grab some tattered leather. We're just going to lightly mist, very lightly mist. Grab our, alright, pull back our layout back in. And we're going to tuck that in. But I think it needs a little bit more inking. So I'm going to grab a Tim Holtz tool and I'm just going to carefully ink over it because that white is just too stark for me. Okay, there we go. Perfect. That was brushed corduroy. And we're just going to tuck this in, like right here. Tuck it in right there. How do I want to do that? Ooh, right there. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and get some glue on there. Alright, I'm going to pick up that leaf and I'm going to stick that right on the photo. Isn't that cool? That is wicked cool. I'm going to put a little bit more glue right here because this leaf is just not wanting to sit down. And we'll just lightly tap. Okay, cool. So there you go. There is the Namites die that was the leafy branch from Namites Die. We did it here. We had it cascading up. We have it, and then we have some flowers, some petaloo flowers that we dyed, and it just brings this whole natural sunflower that my daughter planted. Oh, one more really quick. I'm going to grab some Silks Glaze. I'm going to grab some of that just really quickly, and I'm going to take a fan brush. So I have a fan brush, and I'm going to just dip into the lid. And then I'm just going to brush, so let me dab on here. I'm just going to brush this over the flower. I'm just going to brush this over the flower and over the leaves just really quickly, just to highlight them a little bit. Just to give them a little bit of glitz. There we go. And that was Silks Glaze and Ice. So there you go. So now go ahead and hop over to the next Namites Die Blog Hop design team member. And don't forget to leave a comment. Thanks.